In today's video, we are discussing the do's and don'ts of wide leg jeans. How to wear them, who can wear them, what not to wear with them. So much to cover. I have a lot to show you, and let's get started. The first category is shoes, and it's a little harder to style flats with wide leg jeans versus a longer jean that you can wear a heel underneath. First up, we have these lug sole boots. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I'm just not a lug sole fan. I bought these a couple of seasons ago and have worn them maybe a handful of times because they're just not my thing. I tried to love them, I tried to enjoy them, but they're not my cup of tea. But I know that many of you out there still love a chunky sole boot or a chunky sole loafer. The same might go in this case here. I don't like this look. I think this is a little too bulky on bulky, and it really comes across as looking like a workman, like a plumber, like a construction worker. It's just a little too strong and masculine and heavy. It just feels very, very heavy down there, and it just does not suit my style, and I just don't think it is a look that's flattering. In contrast to that, I tried on the Uggs instead, and I do think the Uggs have a little softer feel to them, probably because of the lighter color, and especially since these jeans are cuffed already, they have a lighter color there, and then it just continues with the lighter brown color, and it feels a little lighter and softer. But again, it's not my preference because overall the roundness of the Ugg boot and the clunkiness of it, it just makes it feel a little too comfortable and too, I would say, effortless, but not in a good way. So again, neither of these are my personal preference. If I were to lean more towards one or the other, it would be an Ugg versus a lug. An Ugg versus a lug. In either case, I just think they just don't work with wide leg jeans because it's just a little too bulky on bulky. Let's talk about sneakers with wide leg jeans. I threw on my gym sneakers to see how they fit with the wide leg jeans, and I must say I wanted to hate this, but I actually don't. The reason being is that these jeans are so wide that they are actually overwhelming the clunkiness of the gym sneaker. Now, these are not overly clunky types of sneakers. They're pretty narrow in my mind compared to maybe some other types of sneakers out there. The width of the jean is wider than the shoe itself, making the sneaker feel a little daintier in proportion to the jean, and that actually makes it work a little bit more than I had in my mind. It really depends on the width of your jeans and what you're going to pair them with as far as your sneakers, because if these were a little narrower, then perhaps the sneaker might look a little too bulky with a narrower wide leg jean, and in that case it may not work. So it really has to come down to the jeans versus the sneakers. If the sneakers are bulkier, it might not work. If the jeans are narrower than these wide leg jeans, it might not work. Personal preference though, I'm just not a gym sneaker type of gal. This isn't a look that I would wear out and about. If I were to wear sneakers, it's going to be an Adidas Samba or an Adidas Stan Smith, a white sneaker. I just think those look a little more elevated and more put together than feeling like you're just throwing on your gym sneakers, because these are just not fashionable to me. These are more for function and for training and exercise, and in my mind they're just not ones that you wear out and about. But again, that's personal preference. You can totally rock this look and look really stylish, but it's totally up to you. I don't hate this. I don't hate how it looks. By the way, these are new wide leg denim that I picked up from A. Goldie on the Revolve website. These are the Dame jeans, and they're a high-waisted wide leg jean, obviously. I've picked them up in a size 27, and I love how they fit. I do think they are a little roomy at my waist, but I'm not quite sure if I could size down to a 26. It might be a little too tight, so I'm kind of in between sizes. But as you can see, these are wide all the way down and have a very wide leg with a cuff that's already cuffed. It's stitched here at either end, so it keeps the cuff in place. However, if you were to tire of the cuff, you can easily unstitch this and get yourself some extra long wide leg jeans, which would look absolutely fabulous with some heels. So there is a little bit of versatility in that, because then you can opt between cuffing them and not cuffing them, and I love how these fit. Moving on to the next shoe category, and that's going to be ballerina flats. Now, as far as ballerina flats are concerned, many of them come with a rounded toe, and of course they are very, very dainty, so I do like that that contrast between a dainty footwear and a wide leg. It adds a little femininity because I do feel like the wide leg pants, they have just a very, not necessarily masculine feel, but they just have a very strong feel to them versus then having something very soft with it. So I like that contrast. First, I tried the two-tone ballerina flats. Now, those are nude and they have a black toe. I do feel that this creates a little too much interruption in the footwear. I feel like it is kind of cutting your foot off and it just doesn't have that elongated feel. I would avoid those because they're just not evoking the type of lengthening feel that I would like with such a big wide leg pant. In contrast to that, I tried my black Mary Janes that are also kind of a ballerina style. Now you can see that the toe is a little more of a pointed design on those, and because it's all black, it just kind of continues the line a little bit better. Yes, you can see the top of my foot and you do see some skin there, but in general, I do feel the elongated ballerina toe is a little bit better than a full rounded toe, and also having it a solid color is a little bit better than having that two-tone. Then I moved on to some of my trendier, more stylish footwear, I guess if you can call it that. I tried my Python ballerina flats, and I think those look fabulous with these wide leg jeans. They have a little bit more of a square toe, but the fact that it's a continuous print all the way through, it just kind of keeps a line going. Again, in contrast to the ballerina flats that had the two-tone, it kind of cuts the foot off a little bit more versus a continuous pattern. It creates that length. And also the same goes with this really fun pair that I have here. These are some Alaya mesh ballerina flat dupes that I picked up on Amazon for $50. They are probably the best find I've ever had on Amazon. I absolutely love them, and I'm not much of an Amazon shopper when it comes to fashion, but I had to have these. They were just absolutely remarkable. Anyway, I love how these look, again, because it's just a continuous pattern that continues. You do see my foot there, and there is that Mary Jane that kind of cuts the foot a little bit there. Because these are so wide leg, it's for the most part just kind of hanging over most of the shoe, and you're not really seeing that cut off there. Maybe it's just because I'm a little biased and I love these so much that I think they work with these pants really, really well. Let's talk about loafers. Now, I have to preface this with I'm not a loafers kind of gal. It's not my aesthetic. Maybe this might be a little biased, but I tried it with the one pair of loafers that I do own, just white, very basic looking ones, and I'm not really a fan of how this looks against these wide leg jeans. Of course, maybe these evoke a very casual feel to them, especially with the cuff, and contrasting that with something so, I don't know, professional looking or just preppy style. And believe me, I do love a contrast of styles. I love mixing masculine and feminine, or casual and workwear, and edgy and soft, but something about this is just not working for me. For me, they just don't look stylish, especially with something so fun and hip. I much prefer these other shoes that I tried in comparison to those, and that's these pointed toe nude flats. My foot just completely keeps continuing even past these really wide leg jeans, as opposed to the loafer where it looked really hidden and almost like my foot was being swallowed up by my jeans. You also want to look like you have a foot, and this exaggerated pointed toe really helps. These are really great for office wear. They're very, very elevated, dainty, feminine, professional looking shoe, and it looks really great against these jeans, far better than the loafer, in my opinion. I've changed out my jeans for a second pair. These are from a brand called Girlfriend, and you can see these are a lot lighter in color, a little more spring, summery feel to them, and they are high-waisted. They come up right at my belly button, so they're not too high, and I do think they have about the same leg opening as the other ones, but they don't have a cuff, and they do have some pleating here, which may or may not be your cup of tea. I actually don't mind it because I do like to add a little more volume to my hips to contrast my waist and make my waist look that much smaller, but I know many of you are against that, so these may not be your favorite type of jeans. But these are longer in length, and I wanted to demonstrate some heels for you. Now, in general, I do think that any high heel shoe will work beautifully with a wide leg pant if you keep a couple of these things in mind. You either need the shoe to be tall enough to work with the pant, or you need the pant to be long enough to work with the shoe. Kind of the same thing. For the most part, you don't want your pants to come up too short when it comes to to wearing it with a heel because it just will look a little too choppy and it won't give you that elongating feel. It will almost make it look like your pants are too short for you, and it's going to stunt your elongation as opposed to making you look longer and leaner. Take these heels for example. I think these pants fit beautifully with these heels. The pant is almost brushing against my carpet, but not quite. Like you can see the heel is just like an inch showing. And you can also see that the pants are just hitting me at the top of my foot. They're not dragging, they're not puddling, they're just beautifully long, straight all the way down. And you have very little difference between the hem and the carpet. I have some examples here. You can see in this cutaway that I'm wearing some platform heels. I think platforms look wonderful with wide leg jeans. I love them, whether they're open toe or closed toe. I think they look really, really good. But these gold ones in particular are just a little too tall for these jeans, and there's a little too much gap between the floor and the hem of the jean, and it's not looking all that good. Versus the black pair that I'm wearing, they're a little bit shorter, and you can see that my jeans are almost brushing against the floor, and I think that is more pleasing to the eye, and it just looks more put together and more elongating and just a little more purposeful. You can see that I've tried pairing a kitten heel with these extra long pants, and it absolutely does not work because these are just way too long for those kitten heels. It's puddling against the floor, looking really kind of disheveled and just not cute. So when it comes to these wide leg jeans, I highly suggest that you have a couple of pairs in your rotation if you love them and you know that you want to have some versatility in wearing a couple of different types of shoes, whether in some cases you might be in the mood for flats, in other cases in the mood for a heel. It is a great option to just have two pairs of jeans in your rotation so that you have options. Or in some cases, like the other pair of jeans, I do think it can work with a cuff to a certain extent. If you wanted to buy a longer pair and have the option of cuffing them or leaving them as is, I think that works wonderfully too. We're about halfway through this video, so if you're finding it helpful and informative, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button and let YouTube know that you enjoyed it. And also while you're there, please check that you are subscribed. If you're not, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I see that about 85% of you watch this channel on a weekly basis, but you're not subscribed. It helps out tremendously and I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Maria, and this is the type of content you find on this channel all the time. Chic, feminine, sophisticated, and modern, fashion-forward, trendy fashion. So if that's something you like, please join me for a future video. The next point I want to make is how important it is to ensure that you have jeans that properly fit you. You don't want to add more volume than necessary, and they just need to hug your body correctly to look the best that they can. Take these jeans for example. These are the Reformation Carry jeans I picked up last year. I did a wide leg styling video last year, which was very well received, and these are the jeans I was wearing in that video. They were a little on the large side for me last year, but I feel like they're even bigger on me now, and I can definitely benefit from sizing down on these. I think that they just add a little too much volume where they shouldn't be. It's always helpful in all jeans to try a size up and a size down from your usual size just to ensure what fits you correctly. There are jeans geared more towards curvier fits and versus a straighter body type, so you just have to find what's correct for you. My advice is to always work with the largest part of your body and to size yourself according to that, and then try to tailor the rest of it down to work with your body type. For example, if your hips are your largest, then it's best to maybe find something that just skims on your hips, but then your waist might be a little too large. You might want to take it in the back a little bit just to nip that. In some cases, yes, a tailor is unavoidable. For the most part, being conscious of what fits at your waist and your hip area is most important when it comes to wide leg jeans. The rest of it is just a matter of how the jean is cut and whether or not it is a very drapey style and loose and flowy, or it has a little more structure to it. You'll see in the cutaway that I'm wearing a similar jean cut to these Carry jeans. They're a pair of Zara gray jeans that I picked up a couple of months ago. I don't think they're available anymore, but maybe they are. If any case, I'll make sure to be linking options for you below on all varying types of wide leg jeans that you can check out if you want to. Those jeans, you can see they have a very nice snug fit through the hips and the waist area, and they just make for a more flattering jean because they look like they fit rather than looking like they're floating and falling off of you. Here I have this padded shoulder kind of muscle tee, and I have it paired here with the Zara jeans that are a little more on the slimmer side. They're like a slimmer wide leg jean. Because I'm already very broad shouldered on top, these shoulder pads are emphasizing that area that much more, and it's creating much more of a triangle effect here. So it's accentuating my inverted triangle. Now personally, I don't really worry about falling into that hourglass figure each and every time I get dressed. I mean, I like how this looks, I don't mind it, but if you did want to balance your proportions out a little better, I would opt more for those wider leg jeans instead. And you can see in the cutaway how the additional volume at the bottom of the jeans helps balance out the top. So you're going from wide to slender to wide again, and just creating a full body hourglass, and that is a little more balanced and flattering. Now forgive me for not having an extremely oversized t-shirt, but this is an example for oversized tees. This is a rather boxy tee, but it is cropped already. However, it still doesn't look good untucked when dealing with wide leg jeans. As you can see, it's just kind of a continuous silhouette all the way down, and it is just not giving me any shape whatsoever. The best thing to do is to do a little half tuck to show a little waistline. I think in this case I would prefer to do a full tuck all around so that I can completely show my waistline, but you can go with whatever works best for yourself. I do just prefer to have a little bit more of a definition here, and I think with my broad shoulders and nipped in waist, and then it flows out with the jeans, it gives me a nice small waistline, and I think that's much more flattering. Tank tops, bodysuits, I absolutely love them, and I love them with wide leg jeans. I love how they slim your silhouette on top so that you have a nipped in waist, and then it flares out with your jeans and creating a beautiful shape. Now, however, if you are very small on top and you need that extra balance for perhaps a heavier tummy or heavier hips and thighs, then a tank top or bodysuit on top might accentuate how small you are. So in that case, I would definitely suggest maybe going for a sleeveless top that could have a little bit of a shoulder pad, or going with something that has a little more emphasis on the shoulders. Or you can add a third piece to your outfit to give yourself a little more volume on top, and then you'll still have that slim silhouette underneath, but at least that way you are kind of adding a little weight to your shoulders. Maybe a sweater thrown over your shoulders, or a blazer, jacket, cardigan. All those things can help kind of balance your silhouette a little bit more with keeping your waist in check. Now for all you short-waisted ladies out there, myself included, or perhaps petite frames that are very overly concerned about wearing high-waisted wide leg jeans, I have a solution for you, and that is to go with a top that is a little higher in the neckline. Wearing a mock neck like this, or a crew neck, or just something turtleneck maybe, even if it's sleeveless, full sleeve, what have you, having a solid line all the way up here really helps elongate this part of you, especially when you're so concerned that this is kind of taking away from this. So I think that's a really great way to practice that 1/3, 2/3 rule and still feel like you're not being completely swallowed up on your upper body. Personally, I really don't mind having my waistline up so high, especially if it's like right at my rib bones, which are right here. I love it. I don't mind it. I try to hike the girls up as much as I can with a push-up bra, so I have a little bit of room between the two. But if you are very, very concerned with that, I think you can create a really good camouflage with elongating your upper body by using this little hack. As opposed to wearing a tube top, for example, which I love the look of those are fabulous, but if you are concerned with chopping off your frame, then that is probably not a good solution for you, and opting for something like this is a little bit better, more elongating, and it's going to make you feel taller and longer. Can you wear a button-down blouse with wide leg jeans? Of course you can, and there's a number of ways that you can do it. The only don't I have is just to wear it untucked and loose, because you're not creating any line, any shape in your silhouette, and the bulk of the shirt is just carrying down to the bulk of the pants, and you're not defining your waist. So whether it's a half tuck in front, a little knot, tied under, or even just tucking half of the shirt in and leaving half out. I think that is a really cool way. I don't know if people actually do that in real life, but I love how that looks. Having a few buttons open in the front, pulling up your sleeves, all great ways to accentuate the look of a button-down shirt and to make it look really good with wide leg jeans without feeling like it's too big or too boxy or creating no shape at all. Or of course, leave it open with a tank or cami underneath, just like I have right here. I think all body types are able to wear a button-down shirt successfully with wide leg jeans. It's just a matter of how you are going to style it in order for it to work for you. If your upper half is a little smaller than your lower half, or you're looking for some way to create balance, I think shoulder pads are a really great way to balance against a wide leg pant. I do already have broad shoulders, but my shoulder pads are accentuating them that much further, creating a nice V here into my waistline. And then I have some pleated pants that are also coming out to a wide leg. It's definitely coming back out that way, and it creates a beautiful hourglass figure. An off-the-shoulder top is a wonderful pairing with wide leg jeans. I love it because it accentuates the shoulders, it broadens the upper half, and it helps balance against the wide leg jeans. This one is a little looser here, but you can certainly go for something tighter. But I love that this has some ruching here, which is kind of hard to see, but it also leaves a little bit of looseness here at the waist. So if you're a little tummy conscious, it could help you with that. If you are very concerned with shortening your upper half, this may not be the right option for you. But I am a short-waisted gal and I still love the look of this. If you're at all self-conscious about your arms, this is a great camouflage. This color red is super flattering on most body types and it's very, very in right now, as are off-the-shoulder tops. I think this is a very great, on-trend, beautiful, sophisticated look that's very feminine and chic. In regards to outerwear, when pairing it with your wide leg jeans, when it comes to cropped cardigans, cropped jackets, cropped blazers, I don't think you could go wrong with those because they come in at your waist, they're not interfering with the pant silhouette at all, and they'll go with any type of wide leg, whether it's a super wide leg, a slimmer type of wide leg. I think you can't go wrong with that. In regards to a blazer, I do think you have to kind of tread carefully when it comes to the size of your blazer in relation to the size of your trousers. Now, I did try my oversized blazer with both pairs of new jeans that I have, and I tried to match the oversizedness of the blazer with the oversized look of the jeans, and I do find it to be a little overwhelming. However, I'm not hating it, especially since I'm wearing something very fitted underneath. The key is, I think, to keep your blazer open, to show your silhouette underneath, and to have that nipped in waist is absolutely crucial when it comes to an oversized blazer like that. I also did try a slimmer fitting blazer, and you can see a little more of my shape in that one, and I think that one works a little better. So I do think it comes down to a matter of preference and a matter of your size too. I mean, if you are petite, I definitely don't suggest wearing wide leg jeans with an oversized blazer. I think it's just going to completely overwhelm your frame, swallow you up, and just completely take over you. As for lady jackets, I do think they are also very flattering. They're not as cropped usually as kind of a cropped cardigan or blazer, but they do kind of come right at your waistline here, which is very flattering, and I do think they'll work with any type of jean as well. Can you wear a trench coat with wide leg jeans? I think you most definitely can. I know for styling purposes, I love to leave the jacket open, and because it just shows your outfit, and that's not really realistic in real life. I understand that. But I do think once you close it and you belt it, you have a nice, beautiful waistline definition, and then it just kind of juts out in a beautiful A-line style, and I think that is super flattering, whether or not you have wide legs at the bottom. As you can see, it's just kind of continuing that flow of that width, just getting larger and larger as you go towards your feet, and I just think that is super, super flattering. If you plan to just wear your jacket open, you might want to try to find one that's a little more fitted and that can give you that kind of silhouette without trying, or do what I did and I cinched it in the back here. In fact, you could probably do a better job than I did, but if you kind of cinch it back there and tie it, it kind of nips in your waist for you. So as you can see, see, I've just kind of nipped in my waist. Now that's a good way of doing it if you don't plan on closing it, because obviously now I can't close my jacket. But if you just needed it as an overlayer and something light that you're just running around town with without having to really belt it, then this is a good option for you to do. And of course you can just easily untie it and belt it if you need it. But this gives you a great silhouette without having to worry about having a lot of bulk through your entire frame. Shopping links are in the description box if you want to refresh your wardrobe at all. Please remember to give this video a big thumbs up and let YouTube know that you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing if you're new here. Let me know in the comments below if you are into wide leg jeans for the season, if you have been, if it's something new that you want to try. I'd love to answer any questions or comments that you have below. So let's chat, let's start a conversation. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it so very much. Have a wonderful week or weekend or evening wherever you are in the world, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.